Hey guys, this is Tom from Numbers Game Lifestyle, and today we're going to be talking about going down on women. Should you do it? Do they lose respect for you if you do it? And the answer is, it depends on when you do this. Okay? I'll give you a couple of examples. Early on in your relationship with a woman, your first time hooking up with her, all the way up to probably around the 2 month mark, you should not go down on women. Why, Tom? Why wouldn't you go down on women? Women love it. Yes, they do. But at the same time, it does lower your status in their eyes. Okay? It's kind of like going on a date with a woman and giving her roses. Okay? It's kind of like, yeah, great. I'm really flattered that you gave me these roses. But at the same time, you're like, this guy's kind of clueless. This guy doesn't get with women like me, which is why he's going out of his way, to give me roses. And the same thing happens when you go down on a woman, very early on in your first hookup, the first couple months, you're already going down on her when you barely know her. She hasn't earned this at all or anything like that. But you're like, oh, I really love just going down on women. I don't care. It's going to lower her attraction for you. There's no getting around this. It's like giving roses to a woman that you barely know. It's kind of like, okay, it feels really good and all, but it kind of lowers her attraction towards you at the same time, because she's like, man, this guy doesn't get with chicks like me. And it's a little bit of a turnoff because it's lowering your status by doing this. Now, I am not telling you that you can never go down on women. There is a time and place. For instance, say you're hooking up with a woman, have her go down on you first, okay? Then you really don't lose status by going down on her as well, because you're both doing the same thing, okay? If she's enthusiastically going down on you, you will not lose status too much by going down on her as well. Me personally, I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it until much later, okay? There's a reason for this, because I want her thinking, my status is super high. I don't have to go down on women in order for them to want to keep seeing me, in order to get women to orgasm. I don't need to do this. And I barely know this woman. I don't know where she's been. I don't know where her box has been. So no, I'm not going to get down my face down there with no protection, and mess around down there. Okay, this is me, maintaining my status by not doing this. Now let's get into when you can go down on women and not affect your status at all. This is after a relationship has formed. She's been seeing you at least 2 months and you had your first argument, okay? However long that takes, because this is going to determine where your status is in relation to her, okay? How you handle that disagreement will immediately show her that, man, I cannot push this guy around. If I try to push him around, tell him what to do, he will just leave. He has got that much abundance. I can't control him. I can't do anything. I can't tell him what to do. I can't nag him. I can't do any of that because he'll just leave. He has that much abundance. And after your first argument, when you have a disagreement and you tell her, I'm not going to argue with you about this. Okay, if you want to argue, there's the door. Either you're going to leave or I'm going to leave. And she's going to be all blustered and you're going to escort her out the door and kick her out. And she's going to be so upset, blowing up your phone saying how much of a child you are, how heartless you are, what a-hole you are. And you're just going to ignore it until she comes around. She calls you or she texts you and tells you hey, what are you doing? I want to hang out. And she's completely back to normal. She's completely, treating you well again. There's not any kind of animosity towards you at all. Then you can see her again. And then she will know, I cannot disrespect this guy. I cannot nag him. I cannot tell him what to do because he will just leave. He will just withdraw his attention and go meet someone else. This immediately lets this woman know that she has no power over you, okay? You're going to do what you're going to do, and it doesn't matter, if she nags you or tries to argue with you, you just don't put up with it, okay? And then she knows, okay, I know where I'm at in this relationship. I've got to follow him if I want this to work. Okay? And once that's done, once she realizes in this relationship that, she can't control you, you're going to do what you're going to do, and, you're obviously going to have her in mind, but at the end of the day, you've got a strong enough backbone that you can do whatever you want to do. And you're not going to be like arguing with her, telling her what to do. You're not going to be engaging in any kind of negative drama with this woman. And then she knows, okay, this guy is high value. He's not going to be controlled. I know where my position is. Okay, I cannot give him drama. In which case, once that's established and she knows that she cannot control you, then you can actually go down on a woman and it will not affect your status one bit, because she knows, like, I've seen his behavior. I know what to expect. If I start, disrespecting him, if I start directing negative emotions towards him, nagging him, trying to bully him, it's not going to go my way. Okay? And that immediately says you can go down on this woman all you want at this point. It's not going to affect your status in the relationship, because she knows, she's seen it firsthand. She sees, I cannot control this guy. That is exactly what maintains her attraction to you long term, is the fact that I cannot control this guy. He's going to do whatever he wants to do. And he's not going to put up with any kind of drama, any kind of nagging, any kind of bullying, any kind of arguing or debating. He's not going to tolerate any of that. Okay? In which case, you can go down on this woman to your heart's content. And she's going to love it. Because, it's not lowering your status. She knows firsthand what you're about. Okay? It's only when you start going down on women and also you start, supplicating to women, you start getting pushed around, you start doing what you're told, you start not fighting, you've lost your backbone, then it's going to happen. Then you're going to lose status. And she will start treating you differently. She will start treating you like an underling. Like a little peasant, okay, instead of the king that you're supposed to be. She wants to be the queen, and you have to be the king. You cannot be the peasant. But she will try her hardest to turn you into a peasant, okay? In which case she loses all attraction to you, and she looks for a king instead, okay? So yes, you can go down on women without it affecting your relationship at all, but you have to do it after you've established that you are in control of this relationship. You are the one leading this relationship. So yes, there is a time and a place for going down on women. And that is after you have established your leadership in that relationship. And that usually happens after your first kind of major disagreement, where she tries to get her way, and you just like, I'm not doing this. Like, I'm not fighting you. If you want to fight about this, there's the door. Okay, that is how you establish your leadership in this relationship. And then she knows, okay, like, I can't push this guy around. I can't tell him what to do. I can't bully him. In which case, you are king. You can do what you want to do. You can go down on women, and it's going to be fantastic. She's going to love it. And she's still going to see you as the king that you are, because you behave like one. Okay? It's only when you start behaving like a peasant that she will start treating you like a peasant. Anyways, guys, that's the video. If you need help doing this, managing your relationships, where, you are the king and she is the queen, and she loves every second of it. She loves being in this relationship with a guy that knows how to lead, knows how to diffuse conflicts, and lead the relationship where it needs to go. I help guys do that, and there's coaching links down below. And of course, I guarantee you all of your dating results. If I cannot solve your problems, I do not want your money, and I will give it all back to you. Anyways, guys, that's the video. Thank you for watching.